Okay, so once we're done with all of these, we are basically done with most of the things in our game, but I mean most of the basic things that are associated with level design and stuff like that. But for now, I want to talk about one last thing. I'm going to delete these two, and we're going to talk a little bit more about devices. So what are devices? For those of you who are familiar with Unreal Engine, I'm just gonna say this, that devices are something like pre-built blueprints that we can play around with and use inside of our game. Unfortunately, currently, blueprints are not supported in UEFN. I'm not sure if they ever plan to integrate them, but that doesn't mean that we can't use their pre-made devices, which they call. I think of them just like simple blueprints. So what are they? They're basically the game rules of your game, though the devices are what makes your game playable. Right now, this is just a map. We cannot even go into it since we deleted our player starts. We cannot even spawn into it. It's just gonna spawn us somewhere in the sky, and we're just gonna drop down onto the map. So let's go into Fortnite and let's go into devices. We see that we have a bunch of different devices. So for beginning, I want to create a player spawn, which I have right here. And I'm gonna set it somewhere, let's say in the middle, like this. Now this is my player spawn. When I drop into my game, when I play my game, this is where I will be dropped in. A couple of different things I want to mention. Basically, you have one sort of like device that is integrated into your every single map, and that is the island settings. And we'll take a look at this later on. But if you've ever played Fortnite, you have a bunch of settings that you can change in game when you're creating an island. But we also have all of those island settings right here. So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it to player team. Instead of any, I'm going to set my index to be 1, like this. And now we have a player start system, player spawner. Let's just take a look at what else we have. We're gonna go a little bit in depth later on. I want to talk about, let's say, the billboard as well. Let's say that this is my submission. This is going to be required for every one of you, so just pay attention a little bit. We have our sample text here. Let's say this is my GDHT 2023, your name, and you can type in, you don't need to type in submission, but you can just type it in like this. If I click on enter, it's going to change it to GDHT 2023. We can center it, we can set another font, let's say this one. Outline, sure, let's grab a thick outline. Display mode, let's go two-sided, and let's go show border. So we have something like this. We have a mesh, and we have a nice background, like a board. We can increase the text size as well to do something that fits the whole screen, and this is fine. And we don't need the shadow. Let's leave it at none. Okay, let's multiply this resolution by 2 as well, just so that's a little bit crisper, like this. Okay, now let's go ahead and play our game for the first time. Now, the first time that you play a game, what you need to do is you need to click on launch session. It's going to ask you to save a bunch of things. Just save those things. And if we are done with that, we're just gonna wait for Fortnite to launch, and it's going to drop us straight into our game. Don't worry about this. You might have some different errors. That is completely fine. So now the only thing that we wait is for Fortnite to initialize